bars, I see your eyes. Soulmate in this steel disguise. Weekends in this prison light. Love so strong it holds on tight. Concrete walls won't break our bond. Every visit makes us strong. Whispers through the glass so clear. In my dreams you're always near. Lock and key love can't keep us apart. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. Someday we'll be you and me. Sundays are our paradise. Even with this sacrifice, tears and smiles both in the mix. One day we'll escape this fix. Hope is our forever song. In our hearts we both belong. Visions of a world so bright. Holding on with all our might. Lock and key love can't keep us apart. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. In my dreams you're always near. Lock and key love can't keep us apart. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. Someday we'll be you and me. Sundays are our paradise. Even with this sacrifice, tears and smiles both in the mix. One day we'll escape this fix. Hope is our forever song. In our hearts we both belong. Visions of a world so bright. Holding on with all our might. Sundays are our paradise. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. Someday we'll be you and me.
Hello, Kimberly Valerie. I wanted to say happy birthday and happy Valentine's Day. That I love you and thank you for your love and support you've given me. You're in my prayers every night. I love you. God bless you.
Hey, this is Roger. I'm just doing a shout out to my mom, wishing her a happy Valentine's Day. Hope she has a good Valentine's Day. And Mom, I love you. Hope you get this.
Hi, this is Kevin Heaton. I just want to give a shout out to my girl Kira Evans from Spokane. I love you and hope you have a wonderful day.
Hello, this is Clinton Heck, and I just want to shout out to my mom. I love you, Mom. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, this is Daniel Eliash. I love you, Brianna, very much. Thank you for everything. Happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Hi, this is Bernie Mallory. I would like to leave a message for my wife, Tina. I love you very much, my sweet, sweet, and you have a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day. My best wishes to you. Hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. Bye-bye, baby.
Hello, hey, this is Ruben, a.k.a. Big Daddy Shooter, a.k.a., the host with the most. I just want to tell my girl, Victoria, I love you, 1002, and have a happy Valentine's Day. Mwah. Bye.
Man, what's up, man? This is Frost Loco. We're coming live from Airway Heights Correction Facility. I just want to give a shout out to my baby girl for Valentine's Day, Aliciana. I love you. You're my world.
Hey, this is Woody J. Just want to give a shout out to Marianne. I love you. Keep your head up. Thinking about you. Miss you.
Hey, this is Nick Schaefer from Airway Heights Correctional Facility. This shout out is to my sister, Jamie Schaefer, and my mom, Danielle Wallace. I love you guys.
We're playing live from the pen. This is A. Diamond from Workaholics. Want to give a big shout out and love to my Workaholics team, my girl Haley, for holding me down. Appreciate you.
I want to give a shout out to Nikki Thompson. This is Gregorio Chavez, locked up at Airway Heights Correctional Center. I love you, baby. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, this is Jose Reyes. I just want to say a shout out to all the ladies out in Spokane County. And I want to say a shout out to the lady that I asked to listen to this, down the road whenever I find you and I have you listen to this, that you know that you're the one.
My name is Billy. I just wanted to send out a happy Valentine's Day to my wife, Michelle, and let her know that I love her with all of my heart and soul and every fiber of my being, and to have a blessed day.
Hey there, world. I'd like to give a shout out to this beautiful podcast, and in the same breath, my name's Armando Lopez. Everybody calls me Venom. I'd like to say happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife and kids. I love you, Miss Emily Sanchez, and I want to let you know that you're a blessing and you've been really positive in my life and where we're at in life is where we're supposed to be. And I'd like to just say I love you.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Jordan Ortiz. I just want to give a shout-out to my girl, Carrie Giannino. I want to say happy Valentine's Day to you, baby, and that I love and miss you. Keep your head up, and I'll be home soon.
My name's Andrew Duncan, and my shout-out's going out to Andrew in St. George. I love you, and have a good Valentine's Day. Always thinking of you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Kyle Jones from Kitsap County. I'd like to put a shout-out to my mom and dad for Valentine's Day. I love you guys. You never gave up on me. And remember, be good or be good at it. Thank you.
Hi, this is Christopher Norris from A&E Exotics. I was recently aired on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and since then I've had significant outcome on my case. The Innocence Project officially stepped in and took over my case due to DNA not matching me, and ineffective assistance of counsel. Also, we've been blessed with other good news. We just had a successful exotic designer microbully litter. We had 5 boys, 2 females, and God's blessing us. Just the wheels are turning in the right direction, and nothing would be possible without all my friends and family, all the support I'm getting from Go Defund DOC, my wife, Aurelia. I just want to say thank you to her. I love her with all my heart and soul. Happy Valentine's to all the prison wives. I want to thank all you guys and everybody for everything you guys are doing for us, for believing in us, having faith in us. And I just want to keep making everybody proud from right here.
Start the longing, forgotten, throw away the key. Gone and forgotten, they forgot about me. Long and forgotten, threw away the key. Gone and forgotten, if I'm the OC.
If I was you, I'd be asking for a refund. Everything they do for DOC, they need to defund. Lazy guards, double cells, everything in here is hell. You ever been to the county jail praying that you get some mail? Then you hit receiving all the stories, can't believe them. I thank God that I'm alive, I thank God that I'm still breathing. After COVID, wearing masks, everyone's sad. How did a virus know a budget? It really makes me laugh. We had good times, bad times, but still it made us strong. It was hard to be accountable, I had to right my wrongs. But now I'm long and forgotten, they forgot about me.
Welcome to another compelling episode of the Defund DOC podcast. Your #1 premium community to hear true prison stories. conniving prison politics, and radical prison reform solutions that will end recidivist crime in America once and for all. Please welcome our hosts, Linda and Daniel J. Sims, as they delve into another hard-hitting and thought-provoking episode.
Welcome to the Defund DOC podcast. I'm Linda, and with me is my co-host, Daniel Sims.
Hello, Defund DLC community, loved ones, everyone out there. Welcome to this exciting episode, this loving episode. This is a Valentine's episode.
All right, Daniel, I'm going to ask you some questions. What does love in prison look like, and how does the current prison system impact these relationships?
Yeah, so one of the major things about prison is that you could be surrounded by like thousands of people and yet feel so alone. You know, it's such a paradox because like you're thinking in one instant like you're not alone, you're around thousands of people, but in the next instant you feel so depressingly alone because there's nobody there that you're sharing your life with. These people, a lot of the times it'll be your own friend that will stab you. You know what I mean? And I'm not speaking metaphorically either. I'm speaking the actual thing. Like your friends are the ones that sometimes you have to watch out the most for. So love in prison is huge. It means so much to us that are incarcerated because it shows that we have value and we can find that significant other that we can share our lives with. It makes a huge difference. So yeah, that's a huge thing for us.
Can you share a story that illustrates the challenges inmates face maintaining romantic relationships due to prison policies?
Yes, let's use an example of my first wife. So I've been married 3 times, and in my first marriage, I was married before I came to prison. And this is back in 2005, 2006, and so this is a long time ago, but the policies are virtually the same. And the thing is that they had back then, I came in with a marriage, and so we should have been entitled to have like trailer visits and whatnot. And honestly, we're very thankful that Washington is one of very few states that have trailer visits, and honestly, that's one thing that we should be fighting for across the country is that they have trailer visits across the country. But when I first came, I got into a fist fight, and you know, this is the thing that people don't realize is when you come to prison, you have to kind of like establish yourself amongst the prison population that, you know, it's just a weird environment. Like everything is backwards. It's not like society where like you can just be a good person and make it through life without any problems. In this system, it's like you have to be tough. Otherwise, you're going to be preyed upon. So anyway, I got into a fist fight, and this isn't Shelton. And this guy, he was like trying to be a bully towards me. Anyway, I got the best of him, and he ended up having to get stitches. And so instead of just giving me a regular fight, they ended up trumping up the charges against me and charged me for an assault. And so I got this bogus assault charge over this, and it precluded me from getting trailer visits for 5 years. And the thing is that the marriage, it wasn't going to be able to survive that long time. So we lasted about 2 years, and then a divorce occurred. And so, you know, a fist fight wouldn't even have carried a 6-month extension of time. But because they trumped up the charges, this guy literally came at me. He was trying to bully me, and I just self-defended myself, and they charged me with an assault. So that's just one example. Like, this is 20 years ago, obviously, but it kind of just shows you exactly what we deal with in here. Like, they can trump up anything and turn it into anything and, you know, make it into a messed up thing. So we really need policy reform. We need a lot of things changed in the system. It's really not a rehabilitative system. It's not a restorative system. It's a corrupt system that is incentivized to steal our labor. So I just think that, you know, we got to continue to speak on it.
How do the hardships of prison life complicate the emotional connections between inmates and their partners? And what reforms do you think could alleviate these challenges?
Yeah, that's a good question. From my perspective, I think that honestly, like in Norway and other societies where they actually treat their prisoners like human beings that are going to be living next door to people like they should in this country, they allow their families to come in there and like stay with them and be around them. That's not the case here. You basically get a small allotted time that you can visit like 2 days a week, and then that's it. Thankfully, this state, like I said earlier, has trailer visits. God bless that. But other states don't have that.
So they're literally operating from a place of separation. It's a physical separation, but it's also a sexual separation. A lot of the times that's what, couples need. They need to reconnect physically, but also sexually. And so I feel like that's a human right that should be granted to our people. But I think that's a major thing, is just the separation. Allow our people to be together, because they already proven that strong ties to family or society is actually the number one way to reduce recidivism. So if they know this, why aren't they doing this? It should be robust. Like everybody should be allowed to have their significant other come in and hang out with them in the unit, in their cells. They should be open.
The atmosphere in the prisons keeps you guys basically in fight or flight. You're constantly stressed, and sometimes the loved ones don't really know how to ease your feelings. So that can create kind of a barrier with that emotional connection as well, because some of us don't understand what you're going through.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because this is the thing. This is an artificial environment. This is a foreign world. It's so weird. People don't even understand, how it could be a big deal for somebody to get stabbed out in the community, but you come to prison, there's stabbings all the time. It's not even a thing to this system. It's ugly. It's an ugly system. It's they surround us by violence, and it's just real corrupt. So just thank everybody that is actually a part of the movement trying to focus on change.
In what ways do you think the prison environment and its regulations affect the emotional well-being of those in love behind bars?
I think, honestly, I think that there's so many different ways that our people are being pressured, and we're being pressured. There's no way to, help support my loved one from incarceration. I tried to send you $100 the other day off my savings account, which you guys got to know that, that we're not making any money in prison. It's basically a slave system. And so, when I try to send $100 to my wife, because she's literally out of work right now because her mom is suffering, just had brain surgery, you would think, in the policy it says, if there's an emergency family medical thing or whatnot, that you can send money off your account, off savings. Anyway, I try to do this, and they act like it's something that can't be done or something. And I'm like, dude, you guys wrote this policy. I'm following policy. They try to create all these new prongs of why they can be denied or whatnot, saying that I had to produce a bill, and then the bill had to be paid directly, and all this stuff. And that's not even in the policy. They're adding new words to the policy. So it's why are you creating these strife? Why are you creating ways to make it hard? And that's emotionally tolling on us, because I'm just trying to help, and they're just so oppressive. It's not like I'm a fellow human being that's a wife that's struggling through caring for her mother. Anybody that hears that listening would be wow, that's something big. How can we alleviate that harm and that trauma that she's enduring, right? But with prison guards and prison counselors and administration, we're not even humans. It's not even a big deal. It's been over a week since I submitted it. They're not even caring about it or nothing. So to me, it's really bothersome, and it really takes a huge emotional toll on us. And I just wish that they would just start treating people like human beings again, and get to a place where it's more like a social worker position rather than a punitive oppression,
What role do family visits and communication policies play in nurturing love among incarcerated individuals, and how could reforms enhance these experiences?
That's an awesome question. I think, honestly, the fact is that the more access we have to communicating and connecting with our family and our loved ones is huge. I mean, it can't be overstated, honestly. The thing is that we're surrounded by people that don't care about us. Nobody cares about us in here. And you got youngsters that have grown up in that kind of system, foster care, juvenile, and then prison. And they honestly need that love and that community, you know what I mean? And same with, at any age, honestly, period. You need to have love. You need to have people that care about you, that can talk you off the ledge, you know what I mean? The other day, a gentleman on the other side tried to commit suicide. And, one of the largest segment of population in this country that has committed suicide or attempted suicide are those that are incarcerated. I mean, literally the largest segment. So it's just a very, very sad state of affairs. But the truth is that the more access we have to our family and to our loved ones makes a big difference. And I think one of the things is that there's a bill currently in the legislature today, which is, I think it's a House Bill 1301 or Senate Bill 5231, which would make all phone calls free. And so that one would be huge. We really hope that passes. So that's a big deal. But, yeah, there's things like that can improve the condition of confinement so that we can increase connections and end recidivism. Yeah, so I think that's kind of where I'm at with that. But, you know, we got to just build more ways to connect. Don't build cliffs, build bridges. You know, that's the way I kind of look at it. Anything that we can do, like I said earlier also, is like allow families to come inside the prison like that. To them, that's like, oh, how dare like us, you know, bring our loved ones inside the prison. It has to be a controlled environment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're not doing that in other countries, and it's working out just fine, you know. So what are you saying? Our loved ones are the criminals? They're the ones that are going to be bringing all this stuff in here?
They treat us that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 0.001 maybe might bring drugs in, and then what? The 99.9% that don't are going to be, you know, criminalized and decline the ability to come in to see their loved one. So yeah, I think that loved ones should be allowed to come into units. They should be allowed to stay in the cells with their wives and whatnot. So definitely a discussion to be made, you know.
I'm just thankful for the fact that you have your tablet so you can email me throughout the day. You can call pretty much whenever you want, because I've talked to a lot of people that don't have the ability to make multiple phone calls in a day. And some prisons, they've been completely locked down. They have no visits. So I am thankful that I at least get to spend a couple days a week with you, because if we didn't have that, that would definitely create a lot more hardship. We wouldn't have that physical connection with each other. We wouldn't be able to sit there and hold hands. So I'm thankful that we do have that.
Yeah, and I can't help, you know what I mean, because you're literally being paid with slave wages. So how do I help ease those burdens, the financial burden? Yeah, it's real sad. It's real sad. You know, the one thing that people should know is that when we speak a lot in generalities because it's stuff that's happening across the country. It's not specific just to this prison. People sometimes think, oh, yeah, he's just talking about that prison. But currently in Washington, they're starting to make reforms, and we really want to applaud those type of reforms rather than, you know, just continually banging, you know, on DOC. We thank them for opening up the door to discussions about some of these reforms, like the free phone calls. You know, that's huge. They're trying to increase the burden on hearings officers to find you guilty of an infraction. They're going to need to increases it to a preponderance of evidence rather than some evidence. That's House Bill 1137 or 1192. Then there's a Judicial Discretion Act that I really hope passes, which is Senate Bill 5269, House Bill 1125, which allows people like me that have been down a long time to have another chance at showing their reform. And because a lot of people don't know this, but Washington State does not have a parole system. So when you get 34 years like I did, that's it. You're parked. That's it. And people are like, oh, yeah, you getting it. No, that's not – that's it, you know. And so that's awesome that they're starting to open up second chance looks. I feel like I've told this on the podcast numerous times. I feel like it's going to be my first chance. This is the second chance, but I honestly believe it's my first chance. I've been in here virtually my whole life. So, yeah, there's a number of new bills. Like there's a House Bill 1147 that allows us to civically engage, create political organizations. Me and Linda want to create perhaps a labor union for prisoners if it passes, you know what I mean, so that we can organize and create a labor union for us so that we can get minimum wage perhaps. But then there's other, I mean, obviously that's only if it passes. And then there's House Bill 1196, which would allow prisoners to vote. That would be huge. You know, can you imagine prisoners being able to organize and vote? Man, what the prisoner labor union will be organized, and we will have all of them voting for one person that helps, you know, rehabilitative, restorative justice system, as opposed to this corrupt, you know, hard-on crime system that we've been dealing with, you know. So we would vote as a block. And then there's a sentencing enhancement reform bill, is 1178. That would not be retroactive, which would, I mean, if it was retroactive, wow, it would really help me because currently that's how they got me. They stacked all the weapon enhancements and gave me basically a slow death sentence. So that would be awesome. And there's a bunch of them. I mean, I could keep going on, but I don't want to bore everybody. But if you know any legislators, please reach out to Linda. She got a list of bills that Defund DOC is supporting. I've sent it to her. She knows which ones we really need in the prison system in Washington. But across the country, if you guys are out there and you guys got some bills that are being looked at in your state and you need us to support it, we will support it, right, Linda?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get out there and then you guys send some emails to the legislators for you guys and try to engage with them and say, hey, we're a national organization for prison reform, defundDLC.net, and we support this bill in Louisiana or Georgia or wherever you guys are at listening. So we can help you. Just reach out to Linda and we can get it done.
Going along with what you've been just talking about, how can prison reform initiatives such as improved visitation rights or communication technology help strengthen relationships for inmates?
Yeah, that would be huge. I mean, like we always say, is the more contact, the more togetherness that we have with our loved ones, the better chances are for them to end the vicious cycle that has been imposed upon our people of recidivism. People are always like, oh, yeah, you know, these people are bad people. They get out and they commit a crime within a small amount of time. No, these are good. These are uneducated, poor people or minorities or people that grew up with severe traumas that are literally being put into a system that was created by people with college educations, with higher education than them, and they know what will help people rehabilitate, but they're not preparing them. They're not preparing people for release. They're not giving them any kind of education, any kind of meaningful education, any kind of meaningful career. They're not giving them any kind of meaningful drug treatment or mental health treatment, and they're definitely not giving them any kind of proper funding. I mean, we just want our funds. Like, just give us a minimum wage so that we can save up enough money so that we can pay back our victims, so that we can start a new life. We're basically just asking for you to get their foot off our neck. You know, give us what every American across the country gets. So there's a lot of room for reform. And so that's what you're saying is like, you know, I think the increased with visitation, like for instance, we only get 2 days a week for visitation. Can you imagine, Linda, if you were allowed to come to visit any time of the week, you know what I mean? Or even come into the prison? Like, why is that not a possibility? They got the guards here. You know what I mean? Like, the guards are here 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't Linda come in when she feels like coming to visit? You know, she should be able to come in whenever she wants to. You know, her husband is in here. She just said, like, she feels like sometimes she's married and yet she has to sleep alone.
Mm-hmm.
How come she can't come in here and spend a night with me in my cell? You know, why is that not a thing? You know, and another thing is, like, these tablets, right? They're going to give us free calls. But honestly, we don't even need free calls. We just want you to give us a minimum wage and allow us to buy a smartphone. You know, there's parental controls that you can put on smartphones so that you can see what people are looking. We should have access to internet. If you think that it's better for you to keep people antisocial, then you're like living in La La Land. You know, like, people should have smartphones, and until they've abused it, you should allow people to have internet access and unlimited access to their loved ones and their family members. And in Norway, they're having smartphones right inside the prison, laptops, everything. So it's just, this system here is just so corrupted, you know, and we really need to continue to speak against it and to say, you know what, you guys are constantly talking about rehabilitating our people, but you're actually making them worse. So it's time to step back and talk to people like the organization and others that have a voice to speak about the injustices that are happening.
This next question, I know you're going to have a lot to say about. What are some common misconceptions about love in prison, and how can awareness of these issues lead to meaningful reform?
So a lot of misconceptions, a lot. I think we both should share our thoughts on this, but I think that the common misconception that a lot of people think is that you're in prison and you shouldn't have a loved one. Like, you shouldn't be married to somebody that's in prison, first of all. That's a super misconception. We need to be more robust about having people, you know, find love or have their loved ones come in prison. But that's one. I think another one is that a lot of misconceptions is that, you know, we're not able to show, you know, our love for each other as we could if we were out. Obviously, we're not with each other every day, but we're still able to express our love and be there for each other on a daily like Linda was saying earlier, there's different prisons that have different time slots for phone calls, but here, thankfully, we're allowed to use the phone a lot more. But I think there's room for improvement, but I think the thing is that love behind bars is a real thing that needs to be encouraged and supported, and I think everybody in prison should have a loved one, should be married. It literally helps our people end this vicious cycle of recidivism. And also, just so you know, we're currently working on a pen pal website, eliteinmates.com, that is trying to connect people with their communities and with resources, connect, on a different level. So that's the main purpose. That's why it matches our mission at Defund DOC, is like, it's the same mission that we have at Defund DOC. It would be the same mission with eliteinmates.com, would be just to basically end a vicious cycle of recidivism. So I guess that'd be the best for me. But what do you think, Linda?
I think a lot of people judge incarcerated individuals because they're in prison. So just because they're in prison, they're not bad. But like, I've had a lot of family members and stuff that are thinking it's the worst thing I could possibly do is get married to someone in prison. But just because they're in prison does not make them a bad person. And I just commented this to someone else recently. They've made a bad choice that led them there, but it doesn't make them a bad person. I've made bad choices in my life. I was lucky not to be in prison, and that doesn't make me any better of a person because I didn't get caught. So just because they're in prison does not make them bad. And also, they're not all liars. It took me a long time to believe and trust what Daniel says because I have had negative experiences, but just because one of them is bad doesn't make them all bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a good way. Ping-ponging off of that, another misconception is that prisoners are all in here trying to work somebody or manipulate them or whatever. That is not the case. That's the reason why Elite Inmates is going to be coming out soon. It's just going to be the high-quality inmates because this is the thing. There are always going to be bad people in large groups of people. I mean, of course. Like, look at society. They got love scams all over the place. But the vast majority of those incarcerated are just looking for a soulmate or looking for somebody to talk to or looking for a connection. Like, these are real, genuine people that they made, like she said, made bad decisions, but yet are still good people. Yeah, that was awesome. That's a good way to put it, Linda. I think that was great. Basically, you're saying the stigma is a misconception itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't judge someone unless you actually get to know them.
Yeah,
if you don't take the time to get to know them, there should be no judgment.
Yeah. There's definitely bad people in prison, but there's bad people out there in the street just as bad. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. How do societal views on love and relationships affect the treatment of inmates? And what changes would you advocate for in the justice system?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, we just touched on it. I mean, we can go on and on about how, most people listening probably have a loved one incarcerated or had a loved one incarcerated or something, so would know, like, the stigma. This is the thing, and I've told this to Linda. I think I've said it on this podcast before. There used to be a huge stigma on people that were against slavery, against ending slavery and how bad black people were and how they deserve to be enslaved and how they deserve to be treated bad and all this stuff. We are on the right side of history. We're advocating for a system of fairness, of justice, of rehabilitation, of restoration. The human condition, it's a condition of bad choices, bad decision and mistakes, and like that's been from all times throughout history. I mean, even the most smartest person in the world will tell you, yeah, I made bad decisions. You know what I mean? So if we got the smartest educated people in the world saying, yeah, I made bad decisions, then why are we holding accountable to such a high standard these people that have grown up in poverty, grown up in gang culture, domestic violence, single-family homes, all this trauma, and then all of a sudden they do something to act out their trauma, and then you demonize them and you throw them away and just, I like the book that the guy that we interviewed.
Recycled Futures by Landis Reynolds.
Yeah, I love that book. I love the idea of it. It's just like we're such a country that wants to be so militant about recycling or climate change and all that stuff, right? But yet we throw our children away. We throw our people away. And a lot of the time for like a life sentence. And, you know what I mean? Like, just throw them away. No recycling of them. I feel like humans should be treated with dignity. They should be educated. Like, the court or the government should not be in the business of throwing anybody away. They actually have a name for it in Latin where the government is supposed to be like a parent. And I don't know any parent that would throw their children away into a severely violent environment, you know what I mean, like, and keep them in there for a life sentence. I've never known any parent that would foreclose their children to such a cruel existence. So that's what I kind of think with it. You know what I mean? I just think that there's a lot of room for improvement in that.
Can you discuss the impact of rehabilitation programs on inmates' ability to engage in healthy relationships, and what reforms do you think could enhance these programs? Are there any programs?
Not very many. Not very many at all. I mean, I think this is something that's prolific across the whole country, is keeping our people stupid, honestly. And it's nothing new under the sun. They did the same thing for the slaves prior to the Civil War. They kept them as stupid as possible. I don't mean to use the word stupid in a derogatory word, but sometimes it's you just got to be frank about it. They keep us as ignorant as, you know, like they're not giving anybody meaningful higher education. Like, why are you giving me an anger management class that, like, a 10-day anger management class when you could give me a psychology 101 class where I could actually know about myself and learn more? You know what I mean? It's like to give you these little Band-Aid classes that don't even have any substantive meaning to them, and then act like that these are mandatory. In reality, what we should be having is actual education. Like, give us degrees. And this is nothing that no other American across the whole country doesn't get. Like, we should be allowed to get a loan for these degrees and then pay them back when we get back into society and whatnot. We're not asking for nothing extra, you know? So I think that's a major thing that could be reformed, is allowing us to get meaningful education. The second thing would be to get, I'm huge on getting minimum wage for our people across the country, because I think, honestly, that'd be the biggest thing for us to get reacclimated back into society, to start businesses or to buy a house. You know, I think it'd be nice, you know.
All right, this is the last question I've got for you. What specific changes do you believe are necessary in the criminal justice system to foster healthier relationships for incarcerated individuals and their partners?
So I think the number one would be to find new ways to, well, number one, I think the phone calls being free is a huge step forward. That's going to be awesome. Secondly, I think that there should be more family events, or even more access for the family. The family should be allowed to come in. Can you imagine if it could make these places more like family friendly? You know, like allowing Linda to come in and hang out inside the unit. Like I'm looking at a lady walking in here right now, plainclothes lady. She's a counselor. Okay, so there's women walking all around in this prison. So why can't our wives walk around in here with us? You know what I mean? Why can't our children come in with us? If obviously there's, you know, there are children predators, perhaps, that we need to watch out for. Maybe perhaps they could put those in different units. But my main point is I feel like there should be more robust ways for us to stay connected to our loved ones. I think that'd be just allowing them to come in more, allowing maybe some more visitation 2 days a week, stuff like that. I guess that was all your questions. I think
that was
an
it.
Awesome episode. Yeah, this is an awesome episode, connecting with you and everyone out there, so we can get reconnected. Everybody knows that currently I'm dealing with some health stuff, so yeah, it's been you know, an ordeal. My lymph nodes or whatever have been growing, swelling up on my neck, both sides, and we don't know what it is, what's going on or nothing, but it is a concern that could potentially be lymphoma, which is a form of cancer, but we don't know, obviously. But Linda's mom also just had brain surgery, so yeah, it's just a lot of things going on. We appreciate everybody's kind words out there and love, and just please continue to be with us as we grow and build this, and so that we can make a national movement and continue to be about some positivity in this country in regards to the way they treat our people, our troubled Americans that get roped up into this, you know, criminal justice system, criminal injustice system. So thank you all.
I want to say happy Valentine's Day to Daniel. I love you, and to everyone else listening, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to say that also to you, Linda. I'm very much in love with you, and very much want to wish you a happy Valentine's. And even though we're having sad moments in our time right now in regards to medical stuff, I just very much appreciate you, and just so very thankful.
Through bars, I see your eyes. Soulmate in this steel disguise. Weekends in this prison light. Love so strong it holds on tight. Concrete walls won't break our bond. Every visit makes us strong. Whispers through the glass so clear. In my dreams you're always near. Lock and key love can't keep us apart. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. Someday we'll be you and me. Sundays are our paradise. Even with this sacrifice, tears and smiles both in the mix. One day we'll escape this fix. Hope is our forever song. In our hearts we both belong. Visions of a world so bright, holding on with all our might. Lock and key love can't keep us apart. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. In my dreams you're always near. Lock and key love can't keep us apart. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. Someday we'll be you and me. Sundays are our paradise. Even with this sacrifice, tears and smiles both in the mix. One day we'll escape this fix. Hope is our forever song. In our hearts we both belong. Visions of a world so bright, holding on with all our might. Sundays are our paradise. Prison walls won't chain my heart. Every moment love grows free. Someday we'll be you and me.